Today we will be talking about the five senses. Our five senses are used every day in all aspects of our life, without us even knowing it. The five senses are sight, hearing, touch, taste, and smell. And each of these helps us figure out things about a certain object. If we look at an object, what do we see? If something makes a noise, what sound do we hear? When we touch something, what does it feel like? If we eat something, what can we taste? And lastly, what does this something smell like? The object we are going to talk about today is a birthday cake. I want you all to take what you know about the object and previous experiences you have had and think about these questions. What do we see when we look at a birthday cake? What does it sound like when we are around a birthday cake? What does a birthday cake feel like? What does the birthday cake taste like? And finally, what does the birthday cake smell like? The first sense we are going to talk about is sight. We see things with our eyes. When we look at objects, we are able to see all different things, like the color of something, what it looks like, the size of the object, and other characteristics it might have. So now I want you to think back to the birthday cake, and what do you see when you look at this birthday cake? When I look at this birthday cake, I see all sorts of things. I see that there is one candle in the center of the cake, which makes me think it might be someone's first birthday. I also see white and blue icing on the cake with blue flowers on top of it. By using my sense of sight, we are able to see what the birthday cake looks like. Our next sense is hearing. We use our ears to hear. We are able to hear noises, people talking and laughing, music, birds chirping, and the nature around us, and many other sounds throughout our days. Now this might be a tough one to relate to a birthday cake because cakes don't make sounds, but what sort of noises do you hear when you're around a birthday cake? When I'm around a birthday cake, it is usually someone's birthday, so I would hear happy people singing happy birthday to the special person, and then the sound of the person blowing out their candles while they're making their wish. The next sense is the sense of touch. We use our hands and fingers to touch. When we touch something, we are able to tell how soft the object is or how hard and sharp that object may be. We can also tell the texture of that object and see how heavy or light an object will be when we pick it up. Now if we are going to get our hands messy and touch a birthday cake, what would it feel like? If we were to put our hands in a birthday cake, we would be able to feel the cake squishing between our fingers and in our hands. We would feel how soft the icing was and also be able to feel afterwards that the icing makes our hands sticky if we don't wash our hands. Then we have the sense of taste. We use our mouths and our tongues to taste things. When eating something, we are able to taste if it is sweet, sour, sugary, salty, and we can also tell the texture of it and many more things. Some things we taste are not supposed to be eaten, so they taste weird to us. But a cake is meant to be eaten, so what do we taste when we eat a birthday cake? Well, it all depends on what kind of cake it is. We are able to tell what flavor the cake is by tasting it. You can also tell if the icing and cake itself is sugary, and you can tell the difference between the cake and the batter part. Also, we will be able to tell if the cake is hard to chew when we bite it or soft to chew. And our last sense is the sense of smell. We use our noses to smell scents. We are able to smell good scents, but we can also smell bad scents. It all depends on who you are and what smells you like. What do we smell when we smell this birthday cake? Well, I love the smell of freshly baked goods. And so when the cake comes out of the oven, I can smell the cake batter and the scent of whatever kind of cake it is. Also, once you ice the cake, you can smell the sweetness of the icing that is put on top. When one person thinks looks pretty, another person might not. What one person thinks sounds nice to them might sound terrible to another person. What one person thinks is soft, another person might think is hard. What one person thinks tastes good, another person might not. What one person thinks smells good might smell bad to another person. Everyone's senses are different, and that's what makes us who we are. Now I want you all to try this on your own and use your 5 senses to talk about the dog on this page. I know you don't really taste dogs, but if you were to lick a dog or bite a dog, what would it taste like? Use your imagination. We used North Carolina Standard Course of Study, Competency Goal 3, to describe how objects look, feel, smell, taste, and sound using their own senses throughout this lesson.